The theme of today's show is next up. Who is next up? We've saw Pengu run. We've seen Virtuals run. We've seen Solana run. We've seen Ethereum run. What hasn't ran yet that we think and we believe has a high probability of running next? We have like 7 to 10 altcoins to choose from. We're going to have that conversation. Big day on Capitol Hill today, as a lot of back and forth. The anti-crypto army has stepped up. Elizabeth Warren, we got a clip from her. Brad Sherman, we got a clip from him or her. Also, what's going to get passed, what's not going to get passed. And there's a new report that there's only 3 blockchains the U.S. government considers likely mature that fits the Clarity Bill Act. Bitcoin, Ethereum. What's the third one? We're going to talk about that. Maybe put in some trades live. And also, one sector that I've been harping on for the last 4 to 6 weeks. We're seeing a few of the big gainers in that sector. Which one is there still room to run? We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage that turkey up in a fun, sexy way, while all my co-hosts side-eye me over here.
What was that?
That was a really weird intro.
That was very.
What was wrong with my intro, man? It was a very amazing intro.
Strange.
It was like
No.
delayed. Yeah, I don't.
Very-
Did you know you were here? Did you forget?
I am here. I'm in the flesh. I'm in the blood.
Blood? Man, we got a lot to talk about today. I'm excited to be here. We got Ashley here. We got Gina here. I'm here. Let's get the show going here, guys.
Wow.
Oh, Rob, too. Rob's here, too. Sorry, my bad, Rob. Almost forgot about you.
Yeah.
Sit next to me. Shout out to all the people watching us on X and Rumble. Make sure you drop some comments in there. We do have those chats pulled up as well. So let's start here. You know, before I start here, I was laying in bed last night. I was sitting there thinking, like, you know what I really want to do? I want to go through all the live shows where you sat there, you pounded the table, said, Ethereum's dead. I'm selling Ethereum, never buying it again. It's the worst layer one. No one's using it. But I figured that would take too much time. So, yeah. But we're going to start with Ethereum. I just had to get that out of my system because it was an interesting night last night. This from James Seifert, ETF analyst over at Bloomberg. Ethereum ETF flows are booming. As a group, the U.S. spot Ether ETFs have taken in over $5.5 billion since launch. Not really a good number, but listen to this, Rob. Out of that $5.5 billion, $3.3 billion has come since mid-April. It's been live for over a year, and in the last 3 months, over 60% of the entire flows have come in the last 3 months. So you take a look at this chart here, absolute explosion on Ethereum ETFs. Now, the one thing with ETH and its tokenomics is if people are using it, it's deflationary. And so similar to, you know, block rewards and minting of Bitcoin per block, it's kind of the same with the inflation rate and inflation schedule of Ether. So as long as inflows are coming in and network activity surges, we should see ETH start to rally. You take a look at this. This is Bitcoin ETF flows, Rob. Yesterday was a pretty big day, $800 million with BlackRock absolutely crushing it. $763 million just from BlackRock yesterday. Literally carried the entire day because the next highest one was shy of 20 million. That was from ARK. But what I want to point your attention to, my friends, is the Ethereum ETF flows from Farside. Rob, I think this was their best day ever. $726 million of ETF flows into the Ethereum ETF. $500 million from BlackRock, $113 million from Fidelity, and the rest is, I wouldn't say negligible, but it's not enough to speak about. Then, on the trend of institutions and BlackRock and its customers buying, Adam Back's new treasury, Bitcoin treasury company, BSTR, is launching with 30,000 Bitcoin instantly becoming the 4th largest Bitcoin treasury with $1.5 billion in additional cash funding. This is the biggest Bitcoin treasury SPAC deal yet. This is in partnership with Cantor Fitzgerald, which, by the way, Rob, the CEO, founder, Howard Lutnick, is also the Secretary of Commerce for the United States government. We have this from Bitcoin Archive, 91.
Hold on, you missed you're talking about Ethereum, you're talking about BlackRock. You missed the biggest headline here, and so
Can you let me do my thing, dude?
did you get to this here?
Can you let me do my thing, bro?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Just let me do my thing, dog. No, I was gonna get there. Maybe I should have put this in with the Ethereum one, but yeah.
You were talking about BlackRock and Ethereum, and then you
Listen, man,
moved
there's a
over
method.
To,
There's a
you
method.
moved over to something else, and I'm like,
There is a method to the madness. You gotta let it. You gotta trust in the process, bro. Okay, so back to ETH, and then we'll go back to Bitcoin. BlackRock files to add staking to its ETH ETF. So what have we always said on the show? BlackRock wants, BlackRock gets. Grayscale filed, Fidelity filed, BlackRock files, yeah. So one thing to keep in mind: if this happens, and shall I say, when this happens, just don't be in any ETH shorts. I'll just leave it at that. So Adam Back, Bitcoin Treasury. Take a look at this. $91 billion Bitcoin. $91 billion in Bitcoin is now held by 125 public companies. Take a look at this chart here, posted by Bitwise, or from Bitwise, posted by Bitcoin Archive. 847,000 total Bitcoin holdings. Rob, that's almost 5% of the entire supply of Bitcoin. 91 billion in value, 125 public companies. Top 5 include Strategy, Marathon, 21, Riot, and Metaplanet. But this will change because, as we just mentioned, Adam Bax, BSTR, coming in with 30K, which we're making number 4. So the trend is clear. Now, before I ask your thoughts, I do want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by the #1 social casino in the entire world. That is Stake.us. We're excited. We've re-upped our partnership with Stake. A lot of exciting things are coming. We're going to be doing some special live streams. And so if you're in the United States and you want to have some fun, win some free Stake cash, convert it to crypto. Also, Rob, in my HBAR video yesterday, I talked about how Stake will essentially give you 130 free HBAR tokens every single month by just 2 clicks. Log in, redeem your daily bonus, and then redeem your Stake cash for crypto every month at 23 cents. It's 130 HBAR. Anyways, there's a link in the description. Do us a favor, create an account, have some fun. I'll be streaming some tournaments and stuff from there. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this one. So
I was out in the
big shout out to
wild.
Stake.
I was out in public, and I saw somebody playing blackjack
On Stake?
on Stake yesterday.
I was on the wild.
And I was like looking over their shoulder, and I'm like, watching you, watching you, bro.
Rob, if we continue to see people like Adam Back or just the ETFs in general, does this spell to you like it's going to be a Bitcoin super cycle? And maybe alts are the only ones that follow the traditional 4-year cycle? Because here's my thought process, and feel free to chime in whenever you want. My thought process is, if we're seeing the amount of money flowing in and the amount of new companies that are being formed as Bitcoin treasury companies, even if we start seeing these 15, 20% dips, I just can't find it in me to say that those dips are not going to be immediately bought up.
Well, I think you're going to see similar market movement as we saw out of gold.
Yeah.
And so gold does have these big run-ups, but it doesn't necessarily crash down, right? And so you get large move to the upside, and then
It's slow
years of consolidation. Now, gold's been around since
5,000 years.
helium decided to
Helium?
yeah, helium. It's the lightest element in the world,
Yeah.
by the way.
Okay, thanks. Funny.
Gold was formed through the process of stars, which is helium, coming together and
Love the
then
astronomy
collapsing
lesson, my
on
guy.
each other. Anyways, been billions and billions of years since the creation of gold, and so it's had its longest run in the market compared to Bitcoin. But anyways, where I'm getting at, new asset, more volatile. It's going to be more volatile than gold just because it's been around for a short period of time. But I think it will find a lot of similarities out of the gold movement as far as in a macro sense, where gold did move to the upside It would break new all-time highs. It would get big green candles. I mean, look at this year, for example, on gold. You can see that it was kind of asleep at the wheel, and you had giant run-up. You know, gold even outperforming Bitcoin at the beginning of the year. And then lately, it's, you know.
This is your gold chart, my friend.
Yeah.
So here, I'll pull up the weekly for you here.
But you see there's not big downside swings. And so you do get a little bit of, you do get blow off tops with gold, but it pales in comparison to the move you get out of.
Okay, Rob, this was a 45% drawdown that lasted 1,554 days.
Yeah.
So what is that? Almost 5 years, right?
Yeah, but
August of 11 and November of 15. So 4 years.
Yeah. So that was during the post-housing bubble,
post-great financial crisis.
So that's the bear market for gold, and so you can.
But here's the difference, though, and let me know if you agree with me or not. Bitcoin is seen as more risk on than gold is. Yes. So
it's a newer asset, and I wasn't trying to be funny earlier, but gold literally has been around since the beginning of the universe. So because it's been around for so long, its volatility is dampered, right? Because it's not anything new. It's not hot and trendy. It's gold. Like, it is what it is. Bitcoin, however, is new, hot, trendy. It is a new market. There's new institutions coming in, as we're always highlighting, countries, nation state, whatever. So because of that, you have more volatility. That's just the reality. You're going to get bigger upsides and bigger downsides. But it's still maturing, and it's still going to have less manipulation from outside forces, and the markets are going to get less spooked. The days of Bitcoin is fake, fraudulent, and serves no purpose are gone. Well, actually, let me hold my tongue. Here, just in, we have gold is not fraudulent. Here, listen, it's our favorite.
It creates the perfect financial tool for drug dealers and tax evaders. Because every time a billionaire cheats on his taxes, a member of the Freedom Caucus earns his wings. I yield back.
Wow. Brad Sherman, everybody. Brad Sherman.
I don't like to cuss, but I'm going to do it. I hate that Muppet-looking motherfucker. I hate his ass, bro. You know, some people, they just have that punch face, that punchable face. You just look at him, you just want to you know, he's that guy. Yeah. Secret Service, if you're watching this, it's only a play on words. Also, shout out to Ashley, who's a penny short of hitting the $20
It's orange. I don't understand.
Yeah, why did it not count? Well, you got to do it again.
I'm not doing it again. That counts. We're 1 out of 5.
And no, you're not getting a refund on your $20.
I didn't ask for one.
Ashley said, got to do everything myself. What is she referring to? We revamped the club. We haven't opened a club in a while. You know, everyone's portfolios are green. We should get it's $100, guys. 5 $20 super chats. Team effort.
It says goal ended.
Goal ended? Someone ended the goal? Oh, man. Okay, how about this?
You probably didn't set it for the proper time.
David, come on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what we can do, Rob. We can keep track. We see $100, then we can open the club. Right?
Does the...
Yes.
What does the NOK mean?
It's 20 Nokia phones. You know the old Nokia phones? It's Norwegian currency.
Yeah, she was like 3 years old when.
Okay, but like.
She was still a glimmer in the eye of her father.
It was when, you know, Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. Remember? Such a good day.
It was a good day. Anyways, what were we saying?
Does that count as $20 or like
no? It's
how many dollars?
I think that's like $5 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. But look, you can see here chat revenue. Once that hits 100, we'll open the club. Okay, we'll keep it real simple. We do have a new club. Also, shout out to all the new people here. Make sure you sub to the channel. Now let's get into the theme of the show. Now, Rob, you know, we're looking at. Let's take a look here. Okay, let's take a look at the last 7 days. Right, your biggest gainers. Curve Dow, Stellar, Pudgy Penguins, Bonk, Algorand. This is over the last 7 days, right? It's your biggest gains. Biggest losers, Pumped Off Fun, Garbage, Sky, OKB, Gate Token, and Bitcoin Cash. I think you look at the last 90, right? Your biggest gainers, biggest losers on the last 90. So these alts are moving in pods, okay? We're seeing Bonk, Dog with Hat, and there was another one, I think Pepe. They're running hot, okay? They're running really hot. Let me look at the last 7 days. It was Bonk, Floki. And then we had Virtuals, BitTensor, Creator Bid. Then we had Algorand, Hedera, and XLM. And so the question is, okay, we had massive rallies, we made money, we took profits, or whatever we did. Which ones are next up, okay? I have 3 that I personally identified, and I want your thoughts on these, so feel free to chime in. Number 1 is Cardano. We did a Cardano video yesterday. CryptoFace was on our show yesterday. He sounded like he was super bullish on ADA. I gave my short to medium term price prediction in yesterday's Cardano video. So if you haven't watched that, go watch it. 79.36 cents. You take a look at over the last 1 month, Rob, it's up 31%. Over the last 1 year, it's up 80%. Okay? Second one is Avalanche at $22.53. As you mentioned yesterday, we got up to that $60 range, and it's just been down and to the right. Over the last 1 year, this is one of the few alts that are down on the 1 year, down 19%. And unless you think this is a dead project, which I don't, and I know you don't either, I believe this could be in the running for next up. And the last one, Rob, is Sonic. Sonic, if you remember, ran up to 90 cents in like 3 weeks from 20 cents. It is currently sitting at 37.5 cents, down 53% on the year, up 17% on the month, and up 15% on the 7-day. These are the 3, Rob, that I've identified. What are your thoughts on the 3? If you were to rank them on which one has the most potential going into the end of the year as far as ROI, how would you rank them, and share your thoughts on each 3 of these?
Sonic was an interesting one.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on Sonic. I agree with you on your other.
You're not sold on Sonic.
No.
Okay. Okay, so that's obviously number 3. You have Cardano and Avalanche.
I think
of the catalyst.
Avalanche is more. Avalanche is, I think, better suited to have a better return. A lot of that just is simply off the market cap size compared to Cardano. And I think that it being as low as it is on the market cap, I think number 17 currently. And is it number 17? Yeah, it's number 17, $9 billion market cap compared to the almost $30 billion market cap of Cardano. It's, it has a lot more room to run. The concern for me, bull market, retail comes in, they're going to go Cardano all day. So could we see a giant rally out of Cardano, something similar to like what we saw out of Solana last bull market? I could see that. I could see Cardano going from that 80 cents. I think it easily eclipses previous all-time highs, which was right around $3. And could we see the $7 Cardano, $8 Cardano? We're talking a 10x from where it is now. I can see that. The community's there. Only downside I could say with that is that we haven't really seen retail show up, and perhaps this market cycle is brought to you by institutions. And if that's the case, then is Cardano on the outside looking in? It doesn't really provide much DEX opportunity for institutions. It's not really representing the RWA space, which is favorable for institutions. And so it seems to do very well with regulatory platforms, with governments and agencies and things like that. And so maybe
Talking about ADA?
Yeah, maybe if you were to take Cardano and think about it from a perspective of, maybe countries start to get on board, and nation states, or perhaps just regular like United States, like, different government agencies start using Cardano. Perhaps. I think that could be a big catalyst. So I think retail really needs to come in that euphoric way that they did in 2021, in 2017. If that happens again, Cardano's a clear-cut winner. And I think that you're correct there. Now, if we stay the course, institutions keep doing their thing, Avalanche, I think, surpasses the returns of Cardano. I don't think it'll flip Cardano, but I think that you could see on a market cap list, Cardano, say 8 and Avalanche 9 or Avalanche 10. But in doing so, you're going to get a way better return out of Avalanche because of the size of the market cap. And remember, Avalanche has fallen, fallen a lot from where it was in the layer 1 space, right? It was up there with the likes of Cardano, and it's been tumbling, especially compared to Bitcoin. But we have seen a reversal lately. It's performing pretty well. I mean, look at the 1 month here, up from a low of $16 at 22. This is just about 3 weeks ago. Actually, 2 weeks ago we were at $17. So you look on the just the week ago we were under $20, and I mean even and even in the last 2 days it's up 10%. So up 20% almost on the week. It's looking good, man. I'm liking it. Also, ETF news coming out. I'm surprised you left XRP out of the conversation.
XRP's had a huge run.
And I think it hasn't stopped. This is XRP's at cycle highs from XRP's at current prices that it was at in 2018. Let that sink in. 2018. So, you're talking about XRP should have, had it not been in litigation with the SEC, should have eclipsed all-time highs last bull market. So we should have been looking at a $5 to $6 XRP. That's what we saw out of all the major alts. Ethereum, look at Ethereum's bull cycle to bull cycle. Ethereum went from $900 in 2018 to 4,000. So you saw the growth there from cycle to cycle. And so you're talking a 5x growth. XRP didn't even get halfway, it got halfway to its previous all-time high. And so here we are again. So I think we eclipse. I think we eclipsed $3 by a mile. I do think that $10 to $15 XRP is almost a shoo-in for me, especially with progressive legislation coming down. Banks,
not if it's up to Brad Sherman and Elizabeth.
Yeah, but they're minority votes there on that side of the aisle. So
I do have a AVAX chart I want to share. So this is AVAX market cipher B. Okay. Here we have a few things. One, money flow just crossed over. You can see here. Okay. VWAP is still above our zero line. It was about to cross, but we'll see if it'll reverse. But you see this. This was what? From May 23rd to now, we've had red money flow, and we finally got a crossover. Now, when was the last time we had a extended time of money flow? Here. Then we had a crossover. Now, this was started January of this year, lasted through April. So 4 months, okay? Let's take a look at what price action did when we had that crossover. Now, when I make these comparisons, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen the same way again. But when we got the crossover of money flow, you can see on market cipher A, we also got a green dot, okay? And from this candle to the high, AVAX rallied around 37%. Look at where we are now on the daily. Money flow crosses over, green dot on market cipher A, and if we measure out 38% from this candle, you're looking at a $28.19 avalanche. Now, again, not saying because it's happened before, it's going to happen the exact same way, but something to keep an eye on. And then for ADA, I think CryptoFace did a really good job of breaking down, the bullishness on that chart. And so it sounds like Robin's ranking is Avalanche, Cardano, Sonic. My ranking is Cardano, Sonic, and Avalanche. And that's not to say I'm not bullish on Avalanche. But I think Sonic a 3x just to get to a cycle high, and we know how fast that thing moves. Cardano, it's been suppressed for a while. Got a lot of big catalysts coming. Avalanche, they have catalysts. They got great things going on, but I can't point to one thing and say that's gonna, that's the big catalyst. Okay, but that's not to say that it's not gonna have one. Metrics are going through the roof. It just hasn't translated into price action yet. So that would be my rankings. There is this article here as well from Crypto Economy where they highlight Polkadot, Chainlink, and some BS project. I'm not gonna highlight those. But Polkadot, right, sharing a chart here, trading around $4.18. It's got a JAM protocol upgrade, which aims to boost modularity and network throughput, okay? Chainlink, right, Oracle set for late cycle surge. Now, I don't see Chainlink as just an Oracle play. I see it as a infrastructure play, which I guess Oracles are infrastructure, but more than just Oracles. This one says support levels around 14 to 15, a lot of accumulation going on there, suggesting a breakout toward $17 if DeFi and enterprise integrations accelerate. So Polkadot, Chainlink, any of these, I mean, is your thesis the same on Polkadot? You're just not even, I mean, is there at any point where you would look at Polkadot as undervalued and feel the need or the want to allocate some of your money to it in your portfolio?
I'm just not sold on it. You look at its all-time chart.
Is that a Polkadot
here.
chart?
Yeah, you look at this. It didn't even come anywhere relatively close to its previous all-time high. Now, so
Disgusting.
you look at all the other prominent layer ones in the top 50, I would say, and nothing looks like this. And so I think this is representative of the community. I think that I hear less and less about Polkadot from the community. I see it less and less throughout my social media feeds. It's not really catching any buzz. I'm sure the tech, I think, under the hood is good. It seems a little confusing with the parachain auctions and Kusama and all that, but I also I'm not sold on its vision either. And it seems to be very all over the place, right? And nothing stands out. Not any one part of it stands out. And I think the biggest thing that they're missing is they don't have a central voice to broadcast, right? There's no Polkadot Foundation that's making a lot of buzz. There's no Charles Hoskinson version there. Now I know you did have what was the guy's name that started?
Gavin Wood.
Gavin Wood, yeah. Gavin Wood essentially stepped away from the project, at least as a representative or as the front-facing member there. But I don't know, not really sold on it. I do want to just circle back one last time. I gotta tell you that XRP, man. Once again, I was about to close this tab and I realized that like XRP is in all-time high territory, right? So we haven't seen this since 2018/2017. And so
XRP's up 10% today.
Yeah, XRP is about to put in a new all-time high. And for those of you that have held XRP and you bought the top back in 2018, you're talking about 7+ years you've been waiting to be in profit. And so Eddie Santiago, friend of the channel, he's up in here in the chat. He says $3.32 XRP, my dude. He sees it.
He also called me Ashy earlier.
He ain't no friend of the channel, bro.
Do I need lotion?
Hey, Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah.
Ashley.
Yeah, Muhammad's giving you lots of love, Robin.
Allahu Akbar.
Mike gave a super chat because apparently David can't read.
That's not what he meant. You.
No, I guess you can't see him. Was that a thing one day?
Yeah, he's like hidden on the channel. I'm trying to unhide him. I don't know what to do. I just Google. Somebody knows. Let me know. Help me. We're trying to get our boy Mike.
He's on here.
I know, but we can't. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't Eddie supposed to come down to the studio like 10 times? Eddie, where you
I'll
at,
be
man?
there, guys. Yeah, I'll come down there. You fake. Love you.
Dang, bro. Shots fired,
Still
bro.
love it. Eddie's my dog, man. We NFT buddies.
You and Eddie lost so much
He
money
hates
on
me. He
NFTs.
probably. I'm surprised he still texts me every once in
You
a
know,
while.
I was like, I just remember like sitting on the sidelines watching you two. I'm like, y'all were making money here and there, and then
No, we made some money elsewhere though. Don't worry.
yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to find. Cardano's at a. I know you were going over XRP, but take a look at this Cardano chart, guys. On the daily, Cardano just broke through its 200-day moving average with volume. Market cipher B. This might be a long entry right now on the show. Money flow just crossed into the green. VWAP is about to cross into the positive. And look at the height of this momentum wave. Okay. So you have momentum to the upside. RSI stochastics looking great. And you have Cardano taking out a key level here, 200-day moving average. This is big on increased volume. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put in a long on Cardano. Rob, will you go over the rest of the markets while I put this trade in?
Sure thing. So back to XRP.
You fucking dick.
I think
I hate you.
I don't know, man. I have a good pulse on when things are heating up and things are changing. I'll say it here. Next 2 weeks, we see a $5 XRP.
Next 2 weeks, we see a $5 XRP.
Yeah, by the end of the month. I think it's about to rip. I think once it passes its previous all-time highs, I don't see this thing slowing down, man. I think it gets to $5 and then pulls back down to $4.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You in the chat, hello, how you doing?
Sorry, I'm putting my trade in real
I
quick.
need to ask you a question. Do you believe that XRP can hit $5 by the end of the month in the next 2 weeks? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that is a likelihood, possibility, you think it's going to happen. Or put a 2 in the chat if, that's not going to happen here, not today, not on my watch. Thank you.
Okay. Guys, we're excited. We're working with Weeks on the trading, WeX. And so I'm doing a little competition. I funded this account with $1,000. And my goal is to 10x it to 10K. And so if you want to join me, there's a link in the description. But I did put in an ADA trade here with 14x leverage long. And so I'll share the details of this. And so I highly recommend, guys. This is a great platform, deep liquidity. They got tons and tons of tokens to trade. Super easy interface. And so if you want to support the channel and the people that support us, do us a favor, create an account, and take the 1K challenge with me. 1K to 10K. See if we can do it. I'll be trading here. I'll be trading in the Discord. And so come join me. But we'll see how this plays out. But the chart looks good, man. Now, the one thing I'll say is if we didn't see that spike in volume and we didn't see the RSI and the money flow across, I probably wouldn't have entered it. But I think this thing can run, my friends. This thing can run. I'm looking at $1.22. So we'll see how price action plays out. But yeah, we do have that trade in. Okay, let's get into legislation. Let's start here. Key Bitcoin and crypto bills have cleared their final hurdle. This is kind of an update overview of what's going on. Let's take a listen.
Good morning, Frank. Well, yeah, there was that breakthrough last night after that record-setting 9-hour standoff on the House floor. But now key crypto bills, they've cleared their final hurdle before they can actually get to passage. So what happened was about a dozen some hardliner members, they did vote to advance the bills after getting a guarantee that a ban on a central bank digital currency, that provision would be included in must-pass legislation that's going to come up later this year. This puts Crypto Week potentially back on track, setting the stage for potential votes as early as today on long-awaited legislation that the crypto industry has been pushing for. Congressman Andy Harris, he's the chair of the House Freedom Caucus and was one of the holdouts. He said the agreement was a significant win for the American people, as a government-controlled digital currency poses a direct threat to financial privacy and economic freedom. Again, the House is going to start voting. It could be as soon as this afternoon, it looks.
Okay, so
Also, just to throw some more breaking news at you.
okay, what is it?
Got to questions.
Caroline.
You done?
Yeah.
We'll get to questions. Here in our new media seat, we have who's the White House correspondent for Bitcoin Magazine, which comes at a time.
Can I get a little more juice on this?
Did I hear Bitcoin Magazine?
We'll get to questions. Here in our new media seat, we have Frank Corva, who's the White House correspondent for Bitcoin Magazine, which comes at a timely week with crypto legislation moving across Capitol Hill. So why don't you kick us off, Frank, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it, Ms. Levitt.
Sure.
I was curious to hear if the president was in favor of removing any and all language around central bank digital currencies from the Genius Act, maybe as a means to get it across the line and get it on his desk. And then my second question was about something the president spoke about in this room. He talked about a $600 de minimis tax exemption for Bitcoin and other crypto spending. So I was just wondering if you could comment on those.
Sure. Well, the president did signal his support for a de minimis exemption for crypto, and the administration continues to be in support of that. We are definitely receptive to it to make crypto payments easier and more efficient for those who seek to use crypto as simple as buying a cup of coffee. Of course, right now that cannot happen, but with the de minimis exemption, perhaps it could in the future, and we will continue to explore legislative solutions to accomplish that. As for the central bank digital currency and the Genius Act, which you know,
I'll stop it there. And so,
That's big, man. That's awesome.
yeah. So basically, the exemption would be any crypto payment under $600. It would be exempt from taxes.
Shouldn't it be?
Well, we'll start there.
Okay.
Okay. We'll start there. And so, up to $600 is what is being proposed by the president, and that. And she said crypto. He said Bitcoin when he proposed the question.
Shocker.
She said, hey, we're looking for the exemption across crypto. So the movement of crypto can't be taxed. So, you know, I think a lot of that also, think about for microtransactions, the amount of paperwork you would need for microtransactions would basically have any small business opt out of it, right? Yeah. And so if you're going to tax every transaction, if it's a penny or whatever it is, even imagine if you're paying gas fees on swaps and you did a 2 or 3 chain swap and you had different transaction costs associated with that, and then all of a sudden you got 3 tax events. All of that goes by the wayside as long as the gas fee is under $600.
Listen, there's a lot of liquid gold under our feet. We're going to make gas great again. Yeah. What were we saying? All right. So to the point of the last video I showed, take a look from Senator Bill Haggerty. This afternoon, the House will vote on the Genius Act. I am proud to have authored the legislation, yada, yada, yada. We also have this. Well, Elizabeth Warren, well, what does she have to say? Let's take a listen here.
And guardrails to make sure that crypto isn't used to blow up our entire economy. So I'm very worried about that, but I want to add one more twist, and that is the clarity Bill has.
Yeah, you know, just like you guys let Lehman Brothers take a shit sandwich and roll it into a gusher and call it a snack and then blow up the entire economy. But you're worried about crypto. But anyways, let's continue.
Has all those problems, but it also has a provision in it that would let any company listed on the New York Stock Exchange opt out of SEC regulation by just digitizing themselves, put themselves on the blockchain, and all of a sudden it turns out that Amazon or Meta or General Motors is no longer governed by the SEC. You do realize that literally would blow up the value of the New York Stock Exchange. That whole.
You know, all jokes aside, that is an interesting take, right? What do you think? Because if there's a loophole,
she's not wrong. And here's the thing: when we talk about RWAs, right, real world asset tokenization, what you're saying is that, like, hey, there's an alternative to what we're tokenizing already, which is shares of a company. That's what the stock exchange is, for the most part. You also have commodities in there traded through different vehicles. But essentially, the New York Stock Exchange is tokenized value of companies traded on the stock exchange. You're going to have a competitor now. And so you're tokenizing value of different companies. And so, I mean, is it a bad thing? Because we talk about companies going public, going through IPO, and that, I know Michael Saylor's touched on it before, it's at minimum a $1 million process just to get into the application. And so unless you got $1 million just to throw at an application to be on the stock exchange, even for penny stocks, that, you know, you have the opposite there. You have a different vehicle to tokenize the company's value. And so why not? If I were to say, hey, like, I want to sell some shares of my company, and I'm going to launch a token that represents the value of the shares, and I'm going to have it traded on the Ethereum blockchain or Optimism or on one of the other, you know, Ripple or XRP or whatever network I want to use, and my company will be valued there. It's not a hypothetical. That's a certainty. Value will move there. Now, will 99% of companies still be on Wall Street, on the New York Stock Exchange? More than likely, at least for now, for the very short-term future. But I think if you forward look 10, 15, 20 years from now, perhaps we look back at this antique, archaic system that was only open from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, except for banking holidays and other random events that happen that close the stock exchange. And you say, like, how did we operate like this? How did finance take days off and close in the afternoons? I think that eventually we move over that direction, and it's going to move. And perhaps it puts pressure on the stock exchange to operate more efficiently, operate 24 hours a day, because, you know, there's a lot of money internationally. And so what, if you live in Hong Kong, you got to wake up and trade at, you know, 9 p.m. at night. You're like, okay, the stock exchange open. I can start investing. No, that's dumb.
Desperate. AI Future said, what are the 3 coins? Well, for me at least. I'm not going to speak for Rob. Cardano, Avalanche, Sonic. I think those 3 are the next to rip. Also, we had a super chat from Ricky Romero. He said, hey, boys, bought Bitcoin around 20K. Awesome. And I've been in the profits. What alts should I rotate some of my Bitcoin gains into for maximum returns for 3 to 4x? Well, these are always fun questions, because if I were to, let's say you were my mom or my father-in-law or something, I would sit down and I would ask you questions like, well, you know, you looking, how long are you willing to wait for 3 to 4x? What's the rest of your portfolio looking like? Yeah. But if it was my money and I'm looking at I wouldn't, honestly, depending on if you have any Bitcoin in cold storage that you plan on keeping, I don't know if I'd rotate any of my Bitcoin into alts. I don't know. Unless, again, you have 2 separate buckets. If you do have 2 separate buckets, the 3 I mentioned, I think are solid plays. And again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm not giving you any advice. I'm just telling you
what I did personally, and I've been pretty public about it here on the channel, is that I just stopped DCAing into Bitcoin and just started DCAing into altcoins. I never sold any of my Bitcoin position. So it's that's me. I don't believe.
That's what he's asking. He wants to sell some of his BTC.
I don't really agree with that. I'm assuming you probably got into BTC for the long term. I don't think nobody's really trying to flip BTC in 2 months. And so you probably bought it.
You bought it at 20K though. So
that's what I'm saying. You bought it at 20K for the long term. Yeah.
Right?
Okay, here's my suggestion. If you're looking to flip your Bitcoin, you don't sell it in the bull market when alts are running. I'm just gonna say you missed the boat there. If you wanted to sell your Bitcoin, you should have sold it in 2022, 2023, and then bought alts there. You should have bought.
Wait, are you?
You should have bought Solana at $15.
What are you saying? You're
what I'm
telling
saying
someone
is
to sell the bottom? You sell the top, dummy. You don't sell the bottom.
Sell your Bitcoin at the top. Okay.
Are you hearing yourself?
Let me ask you a question, David.
If you're first of all, you shouldn't sell Bitcoin.
Stop.
No, you stop. You're telling people to sell the bottom.
I'm trying to explain a point here. Let me just explain some point.
Okay.
Let me ask you one simple question.
Okay.
What is the ideal time to buy altcoins?
When in the bear market.
Okay. So whether your capital comes from your checking account or your Bitcoin, the best time to buy your altcoins is during the bottom of a bear market.
Correct.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you were going to buy your alts, you should have bought your alts in the bear market.
Correct, but that doesn't mean you should sell your Bitcoin in the bear market either.
I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying.
You just said that. You said you should have sold in 2022.
I said, if you're going to, if you're going to sell your Bitcoin for alts, do it when the alts are super cheap. That's all I'm saying. What I'm saying is that now is not the time to sell your Bitcoin. I don't know how high Bitcoin's going to go. I don't know if Bitcoin's going to outperform the alts, or a majority of them. I don't know. But you know what? There was extreme value. There's still value in alts now, but I just think I wouldn't sell a 2017 hold on Bitcoin now at this point. I would sell it higher. If anything, what I would do is if you're really set on it, if you're absolutely itching to sell your Bitcoin, wait till Bitcoin gets to, say, $300,000, sell it then, and then wait for the altcoin market to pull back.
That's a better advice. Not sell your Bitcoin at the bottom. So yeah,
what I'm saying, if you're going to buy alts when they're cheap.
Correct, but that's
exactly what I said.
But you said to sell your Bitcoin at the bottom. What you just said before this is sell Bitcoin at the top, hold the money, and then buy alts in the bear.
What I'm saying is that now it's too late. You should have sold your Bitcoin at the bottom. Like if you're going to sell your Bitcoin, you should have sold it when Cardano was 20 cents. You should have sold it when Solana was $15. You should have sold it when Ethereum was at $1,800. You should have sold it when XRP was at 50 cents. You should have sold it when Stellar Lumens was at 7 cents. That's when you should have sold it. You don't sell it now while altcoins are ripping and breaking new all-time highs. You don't buy an all-time high XRP when Bitcoin is where it is now. That's what I'm saying, is that you if you were going to sell your Bitcoin, now's not the time. That's all I'm saying.
Neither is the bottom. You don't sell the bottom either.
So then when do you sell?
The top. The top. And you hold in stables or dollars.
What would have happened in the last two cycles? If you would have sold the top and bought altcoins?
That's not what I'm saying.
Then when do you sell your Bitcoin?
Sell the top at, let's say your top is 150 grand.
Okay.
Sell it at 140 grand.
And then you think, so what he's saying is sell Bitcoin for alts. So he's swapping. So he's selling his Bitcoin. Say he has $1 million. He sells his Bitcoin, $1 million. He buys $1 million worth of alts. You're telling me that in history, you look back, you should have did that at the top because you could see that you had 80% drops in the altcoin market at that time.
You shouldn't have done it at the top. But if you're going to sell your Bitcoin, sell it at the top. Don't sell it at the bottom. That's dumb.
You're going to, if you're moving it over to alts, you're losing your money.
Don't move it in alts then. Hold it until alts go down. That's his question.
His entire question is, if I sell my Bitcoin for alts, and I'm telling you, don't do it now. That's what I'm telling you. We're in all-time highs. We're at a top at the moment. Is this going to be more tops? I don't know. But you don't sell it now. That's my whole point. He's not... In your thesis is that you sell the top, you sell the top, and then you buy the bottom. That's not going to happen. That's unrealistic. We already know you can't do that. You can't do it. You can't time it. There might be 1 out of 1,000 people that can luck out, but you're not going to sell the top and you're not going to buy the bottom. So what I'm saying is that you wait for everything to crash out, and then if you're dead set on selling your Bitcoin, you do it then. But you don't do it when you're climbing up and XRP's at all-time high. Ethereum is $1,100 from all-time high. It ain't the time, bro. You don't do it now.
You don't do it then either.
But that's his question. If you're going to do it, when do you do it?
No, his question was, I want to do it. What should I put it into? So if you're going to sell Bitcoin now, put it into a Cardano, something that hasn't pumped yet. Don't put it into Hyperliquid. Don't put it into, I don't know, some shit that's been running. I wouldn't recommend doing it, period. I think Bitcoin is going to probably another 2 to 3x. But if you're looking to get into alts, don't sell your Bitcoin when it's at $18,000 to move it into an alt that's at 20 cents. A Cardano's at 20 cents. Don't do that. That's dumb. Anyways, I'm over this conversation. Someone who might be as interesting in his thought process as Rob selling the bottom is Brad Sherman. And well, here is. Okay, that's the last one. I won't do it again. This is Brad. This is a 3-minute clip. I'm not going to share the entire clip, but here we go.
It's customary when we consider major legislation to give credit to those who created the bill. The ghost of Sam Bankman-Fried looms above this auditorium. He is the genius behind the Genius Act, and one can only hope that he's able to watch C-SPAN on a black and white television set in his prison cell.
Hey, can someone remind Brad Sherman that his favorite colleague, Maxine Waters, was literally blowing Sam Bankman-Fried kisses in court, or not in court, but in Congress. So just keep that in mind, okay? Okay, Brad?
You don't have to be a genius to know that this bill is an attack on working families. That's why the AFL-CIO says no, and they are scoring it. They call it stablecoin. It's not stable. It's not a coin. It's a money market account that under this law must pay 0% interest. So who wants to forgo a 4% rate of return and get a 0% return in stablecoin? Those who are desperate for what cryptocurrency offers. Cryptocurrency literally means hidden money. And these stablecoins are exempt from the anti-money laundering provisions. Thus, it meets the needs perfectly of drug dealers, human traffickers, sanctions evaders, those who are hiding assets from their former spouses, and tax evaders. And just to be clear, the Republicans rejected unanimously in committee a provision to prevent mixers. Mixers are devices whose sole...
Okay.
Why is Brad Sherman like Brad Sharpen here? You know, he's like
Brad what?
Sharpen. He said, "My brothers and sisters, the ghost of Sam Bankman-Fried lies above your head. And if you're trying to evade money and tax evasion..."
Al Sharpton. I thought you said sharpen, like sharpen a pencil. I was like, what is he talking about? Yeah.
So it's just like, what is happening? Like, get that man off the floor.
Yeah, I mean, it's a time for retirement, Brad. You know, it's time, dude. It's really time. Now, I mentioned in the beginning, 3 blockchains are considered mature by the U.S. government: Bitcoin, ETH, and Cardano. Look at that. The Clarity Act now recognizes only 3 blockchains as likely mature under U.S. standards: Bitcoin, ETH, and Cardano. As you can see here, the notes are public proof of stake with diverse validators and no single holder over 20%. You look at what they wrote for XRP, not mature. Ripple controls a large portion of supply and influences consensus. It's not what I'm saying. This is what they're saying. Solana, insider heavy supply and core development centralized under Solana Foundation. Doge, they label borderline, decentralized control, but high token concentration in a few wallets. And Tron, founder dominated governance. Shocker. Rob, man, what are your thoughts here? Just a general question, dude. What, do you think this gives Cardano a leg up somehow?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen that on other posts? I haven't seen that anywhere else.
This?
Yeah. Do you know what source that's from?
Yeah, this is from a source.
No, I mean, like, where they sourced that info from?
No.
Yeah, because I don't know. I haven't caught it anywhere else. I was trying to do a little more research why they picked Cardano. I haven't landed on anything. And so...
Okay, well, we can check the source.
I just don't want to get too euphoric on it. And
Altcoin Daily posted it. They're pretty legit. Tap Tools posted it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I haven't personally verified it through like a government entity, but yeah.
I just don't know why I'm not catching any more info on it. I've been endlessly scrolling. And
here, I mean, I just put in Cardano Clarity Act and then you get a bunch. But anyways, I don't want to waste time on this.
Yeah, if that's the case, then, you know, if it's in the group of only 3, if you have Bitcoin, ETH, and Cardano, then it's pretty big, man.
Yeah. I mean, you got retail. Do you start getting like the institutions from that standpoint? I mean, it would be pretty.
But then that list is also going to expand as well. So, you know, you would have You'd have the likes of, who else would fit in there later, right? XRP, Ripple, Avalanche, HBAR. I think all of those eventually. I think it's a sliding scale of maturity, right? I think.
Well, I think I mean, you look at what did they highlight? They highlighted the validators and how they're dispersed, and also the wallets. So Ripple, they had a shitload of XRP, and so it's not really, from that standpoint, decentralized in the eyes of the government of the Clarity Act. So one thing to keep in mind, now, I'm not saying centralization could be good in some areas. Decentralization, I think, overall is better. But there are some pros and cons to either or. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for ADA moving forward with partnerships and potentially dApps and builders coming into the network. Is it going to sway the people that were on the fence? I don't know. One more thing I do want to talk about is this. Couple things. Citi explores stablecoin issuance amid changing regulatory landscape. Gentry reported on July 15th that Citigroup is exploring the possibility of issuing a stablecoin, confirmed by Citi's CEO. Ronit Ghose, Citi's global head of future of finance, emphasizes significant changes driven by regulatory developments. According to Citi's reports, stablecoin supply could reach between $1.6 and $3.7 trillion by 2030. Citi's projections describe stablecoins expanding beyond crypto trading and into the mainstream economy. Then you have this. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon says bank will pursue stablecoins. And then, well, if you guys have been watching our show, you know that I've been talking about stablecoins as a play. And, well, what's the play here? It is infrastructure. It is DeFi. For the institutions and the banks, Curve DAO, convex finance, asymmetry finance. I mean, I've been banging my head on this damn desk here, telling everyone. And you look at Curve on the 7-day, up 65%. Let's look at Convex. I think Convex was doing fairly well, is fairly good also. Why is this thing lagging? CVX. CVX is down on the day. Let's check the 7-day. Up 51% on the 7-day. Asymmetry finance, a little more of a riskier play. 7-day, this one is actually down 21%. This one is backed by Fidelity, so potential there. And then the other one was AVE, just hit 30 billion in TVL. Over the last 7 days, AVE's up 5%. Over the last 1 month, up 21%. So the big winners so far in this niche have been Curve DAO and Convex Finance. And so once these stable coins start coming in, what are you going to do with them? You're going to put them to work and make money? Yeah, where? These are the places that they're going to be going. That'll do it for the show today. I want to thank every single person for tuning in. Make sure you stay in the chat because you will be...
Are we not doing the club?
We didn't get to $100.
I could have sworn we did.
No.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we're at. Let's take a peek. For full transparency, Gino, you want to throw this up there? $6-7.
Oh, dang it.
And only 129 likes. What the hell, man? What the hell? Anyways, what I was saying is Cysteine Trading is going live. If you stay in here, you'll be automatically redirected. We got our man CVO, man in the stream there. I'll be doing it tomorrow, and I'll be doing some giveaways there. So make sure to tune in. With that being said, Gina. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to come back tomorrow. Got an XLM video coming out later today. We love you guys. Until then, peace.
Sin City, crypto, everybody know we here for entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in, for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in then you win, we divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David, I spit the game but they gave it. Named according to your favorite, I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners, special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners, ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors, they gonna teach us mean coins, they polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin, laggers we trade them in, baddies they came to sin, and sinners gon' play to win, screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya, to the moon and to the solar, won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya, it's over when the finger tornado close ya.